there may be some major developments on the next WWE Raw and SmackDown episodes. Big things may be in the works for the corporation this week, and they might determine the tone for the Crown Jewel Premium Live event and the remainder of the year. The next week may bring a plethora of shocks, such as a highly anticipated reunion, the dismissal of celebrities, and the transfer of a title. In addition, the Saudi spectacle might have some thrilling new matches announced by the corporation this week. Next week on WWE SmackDown, Carmelo Hayes and Andrade will square off in a one-on-one battle, with LA Knight serving as the encounter's special guest referee. This will be the sixth meeting between the two, and they are now tied on points in the head-to-head standings. Nonetheless, things may go south for this match in the near future. A no-contest outcome is possible if the three of them engage into a violent altercation during the bout. If this angle pans out, it's possible that Carmelo Hayes and Andrade will face off in a triple threat match, with LA Knight defending his United States title. In the most recent episode of SmackDown, Randy Orton challenged Nick Aldis to a match at Crown Jewel 2024, pitting Kevin Owens against Orton. Nevertheless, the Viper's desire was denied by the SmackDown general manager. After that, Orton dropped hints that he would be talking to Triple H, WWE's head of creative, about booking a match between Owens and himself at the Saudi show, and he may even do the same thing on the next SmackDown program. But if the game turns down Orton's demands, the Apex Predator may strike back against him. In such case, Triple H may terminate the Viper for touching Orton, which might lead to Orton's dismissal from his position. Nevertheless, this could only be temporary, since Orton might be returned soon after. The organization may have the OTC team up with Roman Reigns' former Shield colleague Seth Rollins if they temporarily halt his reunion with JUSO. Since Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, is under contract with AEW until 2027, a possible reunion of the Shield is unlikely to materialize anytime soon. However, the creative staff is considering having Roman Reigns join a new Shield. For those who may not be aware, this week's WWE Raw will feature Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed, and the tension in the ring is sure to rise as the Tsunami Master has the potential to surprise the Visionary and unleash yet another vicious assault on him. Given this scenario, Roman Reigns may save the Architect from Bronson Reed by appearing on WWE Raw. After that, Roman might make amends with Rollins and enlist his support for his upcoming conflict with The Rock and the Bloodline. To the excitement of WWE fans, the OTC might reunite with Jimmy USO and Rollins to create a new Shield. The anticipation of what the next week of Raw and SmackDown may bring to some of WWE's top talents is palpable among fans. Many in the WWE universe are wondering what Roman Reigns will do next, while Randy Orton's future is also up in the air. Will Reigns reimagine his storied faction for us to watch? Given Orton's recent comeback, is his career in jeopardy? This week on WWE Raw and SmackDown, we'll take a look at 3 daring predictions and analyze the possible surprises that might impact the careers of WWE's top performers. Roman Reigns has ruled WWE for years as leader of the Bloodline, a group that reinforced his tribal chief identity. He is the reigning WWE Universal Champion and the face of the organization. Reigns' grip on WWE, however, seems to be slipping due to the recent internal splits within the Bloodline, the most notable of which being the departure of the USOs from the organization. Because of the treachery that occurred inside his own family, Reigns is more defenseless than before. Reigns has dropped hints about a potential new alliance since then, but is it possible that this alliance may feature the resurrection of the Shield, one of WWE's most famous factions? When they were together, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, now known as Jon Moxley, in AEW formed the Shield, and they were a formidable force in WWE. Their unique combination of speed, strength, and tactical savagery shook the WWE. Now that Rollins is a major babyface on Raw and Ambrose has left the organization, It seems the original Shield will never be able to reunite. But if Reigns forms a new Shield, reimagining the group with new members, it might be the change he needs to maintain his SmackDown supremacy. Envision Reigns personally selecting two up-and-coming talents to assist him in carrying on the legacy of the original Shield, who has the same tough, defiant mentality. Ron Breakker, a formidable NXT standout, known for her resilience and determination, and Solo Sikoa, a superstar who has previously shown tremendous dedication to Reigns, are two possible recruits. Using this chance, Reigns may create Shield 2.0, an improved version of the organization that incorporates the original's greatest traits, while also including the tribal chief's shrewd and brutal leadership style. While defending Reigns' title reign against any challengers, this new version may aim to sow mayhem throughout WWE, not just on SmackDown, but across all brands. Joining forces with Reigns might prolong his reign at the top and build a formidable force that shakes the WWE for months to come, thanks to his mastery over his entourage. At Survivor Series 2023, Randy Orton thrilled fans with his victorious comeback to WWE after a long injury-plagued absence. As soon as he returned, the Viper injected himself into big storylines and proved he hadn't slowed down, electrifying the WWE Universe. While Orton's homecoming was greeted with applause, the former 14-time world champion may be in for some rough times ahead. There have been whispers that Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, especially, have been irritated with Orton's behavior backstage. Despite Orton's status as a wrestling icon, he has a checkered background due to his explosive temper and a history of confrontations with powerful individuals in the industry. Does this purported conflict put Orton in danger of losing his job? Although it's difficult to see WWE formally dismissing a superstar like Orton, a plot point may be brewing that utilizes these actual allegations. Orton may be at a turning point in his career, which is not unprecedented for WWE, which has a history of depicting off-screen turmoil as on-screen stories. Imagine an explosive SmackDown scene in which Orton is fired after an altercation with WWE executives or a rival setup, like as Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins. If this were to happen, Orton would have the opportunity to reimagine his role and maybe come back as a more menacing, desperate criminal. On the other hand, Orton's firing plot point might be an attempt to temporarily remove him off television, with the promise of an unexpected and game-changing comeback at a later date. If Orton wants to bring down WWE from the inside, he might make an appearance on Raw or even NXT as an unruly, free agent icon who teams up with up-and-coming talent. Regardless of WWE's plans, the possibility of Randy Orton's dismissal might further complicate the Viper's current run. Fans would be left wondering what happens next for one of WWE's biggest performers if Orton's job security was in jeopardy, whether it was genuine or fictional. For weeks, WWE superstars Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins have been at war over the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The incumbent champion Rollins has been dealing with a more aggressive and frustrated McIntyre, who has become more vicious as a result. Once revered as WWE's noble warrior, McIntyre has been subtly shifting his attention to a darker side, one that is more concerned with winning, regardless of the cost. He is violent, unpredictable, and prepared to do whatever it takes to win the World Heavyweight Championship, because he is obsessed with getting back to the top. Rollins, meanwhile, is fighting not only McIntyre's overwhelming physical strength, but also his own growing list of ailments. One possible deciding factor in the last chapter of this rivalry is Rollins' candidness on the physical toll that his title reign has had on him. If Rollins isn't feeling well, McIntyre may take advantage of his vulnerabilities and destroy the title in a devastating bout. We expect McIntyre and Rollins' feud to go to new levels this week on Raw. If McIntyre's anger gets the best of him, he may unleash a brutal assault on Rollins, maybe aiming for his wounded back. If this happens, it might pave the way for a future no-holds-barred or last-man-standing bout in which McIntyre finally gets his revenge on Rollins. It would be premature to write Rollins off, however. The architect may have an ace up his sleeve to foil McIntyre's plot, as he has built a livelihood out of outwitting his adversaries. Whatever the case may be, this rivalry is far from done, and next week things are sure to heat up, leading up to a massive championship showdown at a future pay-per-view.